Day 216. um, let me fix this. Been working pretty hard the last few days. Sean's building the rental estimate. I've been doing a lot of the UI and getting all the API calls to work. And then we met with an advisor yesterday to work on our pitch and improve that. We're going to meet with him again tomorrow. And we are going to pitch real investors next Wednesday. So that's something, I guess. And I just finished a one-pager draft about us and all that stuff. So hopefully people find this interesting. I wrote it from Sean's perspective. So let's see if he likes the words I put in his mouth. But we're getting there. I think if you want to read this in the background, I'll let you read it. I think it's every day we get a little bit closer, which is so weird to think, that we're going to have something useful to somebody eventually. I mean, I still think we're like early stages of like knowing what we're even doing, which is crazy, 200 days into this. But, I think the trick has been committing to it, and feeling comfortable comfortable and confident of putting several years, 5 years of your life into this, and doing your homework. I'm just so like excited, enamored. I just think learning all I can about startups is like such a cool thing that I don't want to escape. I don't want to avoid. I don't want to like hack my way through this. I think that's been a lot of my life is like, how do I life hack this? And I've been obsessed with life hacks. But this is not something you life hack, like the life hacks are being able to know something so well that it becomes second nature to you. And I think I've always just thought there was an easier way. Well, I've always thought there's an easier way. I always thought there was no point. That's what it was. I always thought there was no point to actually learning anything or knowing anything or whatever. I always thought that that everyone was faking it too, so I might as well. And some people are just better at faking whatever they're doing. But it's not true. There's a subset of people that actually know what they're talking about and actually do research on it every day and are actually excited to learn about it. These are the kind of people that never retire because they get so excited about their problem, their solution, their life. And I it's been a crazy journey of waking up from thinking that like nothing matters to now believing that I can actually change my future based off my actions, not based off luck or just randomness. Like I can actually change the universe to whatever I want. And I think the trick is to just like believe that. Like if you can believe that, like you're kind of like things only get easier, Like the reason, like I found Sean because I stopped believing that no one can help me. I finally believed that someone could help me. I believe that somebody like is a good like partner for me. I mean, I think my wife kind of kicked off this whole journey. Like once I met her and I saw her drive and everything, I was like, there are people out there like this that are like me, that are like pushing like against their ceilings, like pushing against, improving themselves, and they actually do achieve their thing that they want to achieve. Like my wife literally like built her life from nothing, and had a goal and stuck to it and dedicated years of her life and got there, and it's inspiring. So, and then Sean did the same thing too. And so I just, I've been really trusting that I'll figure it out, along the way. And, I don't know. I don't really wish that I did this years ago. I don't really wish my life to be different. I think everything happens by itself. Like you don't actually know what, I don't think you can skip the part where you suffer, I don't think you can skip the part where you don't know. Because to make it real, have real change and real growth, you need to suffer. And you need to not know. And it needs to be hard. So but it's a weird feeling like this is coming together. I know we have a long way to go. I know, like it's not even built yet. It's like not even half built yet. It's got a lot to go, a lot to do. But I'm just believing that it will exist. Like nothing, like literally nothing stopping us other than time at this point. There's nothing we need that is preventing us from building this thing. I guess there's the one thing that's preventing us from succeeding is we don't know if people want it, but I don't know. I'm doing my homework, and when I do my homework, good things happen, and luck ends up in my corner, my favor when I do my homework. And so I'm doing my homework, and I'm learning the language. I'm speaking the language. I'm thinking in the language. I'm thinking like them. All of this whole group of people that funds companies and builds companies. There's less and less things that are surprising me, and there's going to be more, obviously, but I think we're ready for the next step, and or we're getting ready for the next step, and maybe we're still a year away from that, but it's feeling likely that we're going to actually make it to the next step, and at that next step, I'll have to learn a bunch of new things to get me to the next step, and it feels fun. It feels fun, like it. I've said this a few times in different episodes of this, but like once I realized that capitalism is actually really fun, like if you pretend that capitalism is like a video game that you're playing, life is just interesting and fun if you're a first person RPG game, like I don't know. I always thought that it just nothing mattered, and I don't know. I've never found anything that interesting, but I find this very interesting. I found my thing, I guess you might say, that I find interesting. That, it feels like a lifelong journey to get good at this is fun. It feels like there are answers out there that I want to know. It feels like there are people that know significantly more than me, and it's beneficial to know. I feel like a lot of things, like I think I've always been confused how people become great at stuff. I thought it was they're born that way kind of thing, but they built themselves up the same way you build muscles. Like the same way a bodybuilder built their muscles by literally picking up weights and putting down weights for thousands of hours. Like people that are great at stuff picked up and put down weights of whatever they're good at for thousands of hours, and that's how they got good at it. And I always thought it was like I thought it was like sports, and it's not. Sports is like, I would say the amount of sports I've played is like that, where it's like Some people are good. I'm saying some people are born to be better at that sport. And if I played the same amount of time at that sport as them, I wouldn't be as good at them as them. And there's going to be there's subtleties there. But I think within like outside of sports, I guess I've used the sports analogy about life too fluidly. Like if I don't know, I think I'm not making sense today, but I just think I have a better sense of time. I think is probably the makeup of it, and I think I'm starting to believe that I'm a sensitive, like oversensitized person. That I get overwhelmed, and not to the point where I quit, but it's like a quiet quitting. It's like to the point where I care less, and then I don't really like keep going after that point. And so the more I can like soften or dampen or silence that voice in my head that like keeps reminding me I'm not good at that thing yet, the more I can do that, the more I can find tools to do that, the more I'm heading in the right direction. And so that's been a different, like, interesting thing that's happened is a lot of these points of progress that I've made have been essentially reducing or removing the voice in my head that tells me I suck, more than they've been I'm significantly doing something totally different. My brain has been the thing holding me back this whole time. The voice in my head has been the thing holding me back this whole time from trying, caring, growing. The voice in my head kept telling me it wasn't possible or useful. And now I don't believe it anymore. I don't trust it. And well, I shouldn't even say that. I do trust it, but I'm turning it to be positive, not negative. My voice in my head is now getting positive and stronger, telling me what I can do, what I should do more of to get better. It's giving me goals. It's coaching me. It's not chastising me. It's reminding me how to get better rather than reminding me how I'm not good. And that's just been a daily like practice of how do I give my brain positivity and more coach tools and coach logic, not critic logic, and I'm a very judgmental person deep down, and I really don't like that about myself, but that's the part that's been holding me back, is I judge me and everything so much so often that it makes me not want to do anything, be anything, try anything, because I'll be judged for trying. And the more I can silence that part of my brain, it's just been, I've been happier. I've been more productive. I have dreams for the first time in my life. It seems like I have dreams, and I actively am pursuing them on purpose, with purpose. And it feels right. So, I know I'm kind of meandering, but it's been good. I think this is all just it's like weird. I've been having this like weird argument in my head about fate lately. I talked to my dad about this, and he thinks everything happens for a reason. And, we can get into the specifics of this and that, of terrible things that happen to the world and, whatever. And I don't believe that fate is this like thing that is happening and we are watching the movie, It doesn't feel like there's a movie unraveling, because I'm starting to push back at the movie or the whatever, the way the world works. And I'm starting to change it in little ways, but it's opening my eyes to bigger ways that I can change it. But it's, as far as fate, it almost feels like fate is the little decisions you make all day, every day, to determine your fate. And so your fate could be predetermined or not. It depends if you think that those decisions that you're making all day are decisions. That's what it depends on. That little bite of cookie, I'll just check this really quick, that doesn't matter right now, I'm going to pick up that book instead of turning on the TV. Those little things are what determine if you are a champion, if you're on the field, if you're close, if you're invited to the meeting. Like, those are little things that add up. And I've just never cared or thought that they were decisions, but they are. And I think those little decisions every day are going to add up to be my fate. And I need to get better at getting, making better decisions still. I'm still pretty bad at it. I still waste a lot of time. I still, so much self-loathing, so much like feeling bad or talking down to myself or not dreaming big enough. I need to dream way bigger, because then those little decisions are decisions about a big dream, not a tiny dream. Instead of right now, they're just a tiny dream still. So it's a good day. My wife asked me how my day was a lot, and I'm sure I'm becoming a less interesting person because of this. But I've been trying hard to say good. If I get to work on my company, it's a good day, because that means my family's healthy, I'm healthy, I have time and means to do so. I have all my arms and legs. I have the intelligence to have an organized life to the point where I can now work on bigger dreams. And that means it's a good day, even if it's the worst day. And there's a lot of bad days with working on your own company and stuff. But it feels like remembering that to even have time and ability to dream about it, let alone work on it, it means that I've already won in a lot of ways. That I've already, not that winning is important, but I've already done really good at making decisions, and now it's time for extra credit. It's time for fun, and this is my fun, I guess. This is what I've chosen to be fun. So it's once again, today it's a good day. I wrote that one pager. I'm gonna work on the website a little bit more. I'm taking a break to get my brain back together, because it's been writing those one pagers was hard. It's a lot of thinking and pretending, who's reading it and everything. But like I said, it's just one day at a time, tiny decisions. And I've been watching a lot of Nick Saban, because he's retired, so everybody's bouncing around videos of him, and that's what he says almost verbatim. It's like, if you want to be the best, people want to pretend like they have all these decisions, but they really don't have very many to make, actually. Because if you're the best, you're doing what you should be doing almost every single moment of every single day. And if you're not, you're not the best. And you're probably not on the field. And so you want to decide to do this, decide to do that, decide to do this. And the more you can take away all those decisions and just turn it into, am I the best or not? Or is this the one thing that's going to help me be the best right now? What is the one thing I can do right now, such that by doing so, everything else becomes easier and necessary? And I want to be the best. What's the one thing I can work on right now to be the best? And I've used that question a lot when I'm stuck on, what should I be working on right now? How can I make this better? I don't feel comfortable right now. I don't feel in control. That's a really good tool to feel in control again of whatever's happening. And we're planning for our move to New Orleans, and a couple months, and we have to sell the house and figure out daycares and everything. And I've been overwhelmed with like all the decisions I have to make. It's not even like those decisions. It's like, who do I call to just start the process of that decision? Is it overwhelming? Like, I called like 5 daycares, and that felt overwhelming to narrow 2,000 daycares into 5, like into 10. Like, it's like even taking a step forward, it felt very difficult. But you know, there's a Bezos quote that I love. It's like, if you're feeling anxiety, it's because you're not taking a step forward with one of the problems in your life, and you can, and you're choosing not to. It's usually a sign, is if you feel anxiety or feel like something doesn't fit, or you're feeling frustrated, it's usually because there's a step you can take, there's a move you can make, and you're not making it. You're just pretending to, or you're thinking about it instead of doing it. And every time I'm feeling anxiety, I go, I gotta make the move. I gotta make the move. What's the move? What is the thing that's giving me anxiety, and why am I not moving on it? Because when you start moving on it, you kind of don't really feel as much anxiety once you actually start having things to talk about, work on, do, actual to-do list tasks. So I think that's been the biggest thing this year so far. And we're coming up on a year. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I think around this time last year, this is when I decided to really take stuff a little more seriously. I didn't get there all the way, but I think around April or May is when I really decided to take things a lot more seriously. And the word purpose came out a lot more a lot more easily for me to say. But yeah, it's been a really cool year. I feel so powerful. I feel so grateful. I feel so grateful for myself. Just, I feel like I've looked at the same problem 100 different ways, and the problem is, how do I want to spend my life? Like we're all working on that problem every day, kind of, actively or passively. And I think I always thought I was holding the steering wheel, but it turns out I wasn't until now. And even now, I think I'll laugh at myself 5 years from now thinking I'm holding the steering wheel right now. Like, I'm only grabbing harder, more and more and more of the steering wheel of my life every day that passes. The more I learn, the more I push, the more uncomfortable I am. So that's I guess a lot to get out of my brain today, but it's been really cool. It's been a cool year. 2023 was a cool year. I can't imagine how 2024 is gonna be better, especially because Michigan won the national championship, and I'm still kind of like, I don't know. It kind of still doesn't feel real. It's like, it's crazy. I gotta go buy a T-shirt or something to make sure it actually happened. But it's been an amazing year, and I think 2024 is gonna be great too. So it's what are we gonna do? Get to work, start making our tiny decisions every day, I think I can ramble on all day. So I think I'm gonna call it good enough and get back to work. But I'm getting happier every day, the more I can choose myself in all my decisions, the happier I am. And it took a long time to find out myself, like who myself was and what he wanted. But the more I know what I want and choose it, it's just felt so good. It feels good in short term and long term. I thought it was always one or the other, but it's both when you actually can figure out what you want and you keep choosing it. So I really encourage you, please figure it out. Go read some books. I can give you some books, but go start reading, start doing something. Start caring, start trying something. You're probably going to choose wrong a lot, but not trying is like way worse. Because then you wake up and you go, what was I doing? It's usually the thing that you wish you could work on if you had more time is the thing you should be doing every day. And the trick is just figuring out a way to get that time and de-stress and declutter your life to the point where you have that time. And those are the tiny decisions that I'm talking about, is the doing that every day, decluttering. So, all right, well, that's all I'm going to do. So, have a good day.